People who don't speak English as a first language don't realize how little English Americans know.
Hi, my name is Woody. I'm a linguist and professor of the English language, not here to argue, but to educate. And unfortunately, most of what you said is either completely wrong or stems from a mischaracterization of research that you probably haven't read yourself.
This is immediately, clearly related to the literacy crisis in America.
This is not an American problem. I agree we can improve literacy. Maybe that would stop anti-vaxxers from being charged of making health laws in this country. And maybe it would help people read research instead of saying things that they obviously haven't studied. Research that actually looks at literacy rates says it's not really declining performance. And there was drop in test scores in the 70s, but that was mostly due to expanding the demographics that were being tested. And the idea that 1/5 of Americans are illiterate, or about half of them rate at a 6th grade level, is not an original thought. Many people have said that on social media before without any data to back it up. Even major news articles have said it, but they might have actually cited a source. A Gallup study on behalf of the Barbara Bush Foundation. This is that study, which is about assessing economic gains for improving literacy. And I'm not just showing this to plug my own channel. I go into a lot of detail looking at the actual resources and studies. Everything I show is linked in the description of this video so you can see it yourself. Even this study didn't do the actual research to get the literacy data. That's from the PIAAC study, which is linked on the Barbara Bush Foundation site. And this is the round of that test that was used for the Gallup study. What Gallup was showing that the darker green states have more to gain economically from improving literacy. A lot of those states are just starting off economically the farthest behind already. But there's also wealthy states like Texas and California. What do they have in common? One of the highest amounts of Hispanic residents. That Gallup study literally cites Hispanic residents who are not fluent in English because they speak Spanish as the ones having the most to gain. And this was done on behalf of an organization that says literacy is the key to solving everything. They're not trying to give you an accurate depiction of literacy rates. They're trying to get you to give them money. And again, I think this is good cause, but this is not accurately representing the literacy of people with English as a native language, which is also not the same thing as people's ability to speak their native language. The PIAAC study that actually did the literacy test makes no definition for what is literate or illiterate. Gallup study made that up to talk about economic benefits. They say everyone level 3 and above on the PIAAC score was considered fully literate, which means the Gallup study considered people who scored 275 to be illiterate, but people who scored 276 are fully literate out of 500 points. And America's average was 270, which would mean that on average we're illiterate according to this Gallup definition. Guess what? That's the same score as Germany and Austria. That's higher than the OECD average, as well as Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, Spain, Italy, even Singapore, which is another country I lived in that I can attest has a wonderful education system. The study that says 1 in 5 Americans are illiterate is using this data. Would you say 1 in 5 Germans or Austrians are illiterate? How about even more Spaniards or Italians? So if you want to say America has a literacy crisis, I'm okay with that. As long as you also say that our literacy is average compared to the rest of the world. And it's not an American problem, but a global problem. And your definition of illiterate is based on a separate study about economics done on behalf of a literacy center that wants your money. I want you to know you are loved. If anyone watching my video wants to go to that creator's video and leave a comment, please say "know you are loved" with a blue heart. Thank you for your time.